Welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Day. This time it's from Finland. From Finland, meaning both me and the band. True Black Dawn, the band that already started in the 90s. It made their first album in 2000s. A long hiatus between each album, one can only wonder why, and more like feel sad about it, because in fact this is one of the most consistent, most best quality black metal bands coming from Finland. Am I right? Not really wrong either. No. This time we have this album called Of Thick, how to say it, Thick Circling Shadows. Pardon the lack of light, let's do something about it, even if this kind of a darkness welcomes this kind of a lack of lightning. Anyhow, nice looking digipack through World Terror Committee, and this long awaited album is right here, right now, but let's do it this way. So, what can we expect from a band that hasn't been the most ever? Recap quickly. First of all, the first album, already more than 20 years ago, good black metal. Then some replacements in the lineup, some major changes, and suddenly many years later, they made this good album that suddenly was like one of the best during that year. Now another few more years later, one could even have forgotten the band and be positively surprised at this lineup, now more steady than ever, I guess, with quite an all-star lineup if you really start looking at it. I'll show you soon why. Another great album appears. And why this is so great? First of all, it's versatile, it's diverse, it's timeless. In a way, this could be coming from the 90s, even if the production is very much today. And that alone is something worthwhile considering good. Other thing is, of course, the major thing is, this album has fantastic songwriting. Now, not all the songs, all the riffs are not super great, 5 out of 5. But let's be honest about it. Like half of that stuff really is great. And the other half still quite good, resulting one of the best black metal albums from year 2024. And yes, I can still say it because now we are towards September, so roughly 2/3 done for the year, and I really expect that most bands cannot really top this one, and even if they can challenge it, it's very likely that this will be high on my personal list. So let's get the quick recap with Metal Archive side as the backdrop. It started in 1992, and now a lot of people might be thinking, yeah, that was one of the first wave of Finnish black metal bands, with the, Bihirits, Impel, Nazaris, Archcode, Baratrums, etc. But let's be honest about it. While there was this first demo early on, the second demo, the third demo, well, and suddenly you are in year 2000. So while the band was active with the first steps and all that stuff, other bands came into play and stole the show, so to speak. For example, in True Black Dawn's the vocalist Case, Enochian Crescent got more into the limelight and as such was the main thing going on, while True Black Dawn was more on the background, give or take. Now, doesn't matter what the background is, of course what matters is you're only as good as your latest albums or latest songs and all that stuff. So there was a 15 years of gap between Blood for Satan, the debut album, and Come the Colorless Dawn 2016. That's quite a lot. By the way, I don't agree one bit with these review scores on Metal Archives. I would say the first album is about 8 or 8.5 out of 10, and the second one definitely 8.5 out of 10, and the new one roughly the same category. But this took only 8 years versus 15 years in the middle, and one could say, has it changed a lot? Now if you take a look at this lineup here, you will see only one member from the early 90s days. Sifan, however, more or less writing songs of this album, has been in the band since 2001. Even if there was a gap, doesn't really matter. He has been a very stable cornerstone of the band, and knowing the guy personally, I know he's a good musician, a good friend, but more so in this context, able to do those songs. Skilled songwriter indeed, it really is. And the rest of the guys already been in the band for over 10 years, so that means this is very much a pretty solid lineup by now. If you take a look at the past members list, you will see quite a few names here, and surely a lot of things have changed over the years, but none of these were so much in the band that they actually resulted anything in the latest album. So look at these all-star lineup what I was talking about. You got the endocrine crescent vocalist, you got the guy playing in Baptism or Ymir previously, and Ocean Sacrilegious Impalement. You have the guy who used to play in Archgoat, but also plays in Ymir, Phlegain, Horna, Chamber of Unlight, Trollheim Squad is mentioned here, and all that stuff. Death Chain, Flame even. You know, a lot of things in the lineup who are more or less veteran guys from the scene. So what else you really expect but quality when you have such a great lineup? I don't know. I didn't expect anything less, and I still felt rewarded. Maybe not super positively surprised because I was expecting quality all the time, and when I got it, I was like, man, it is as good or even better what I was hoping for. So 10 minutes, 10 tracks in, 45 minutes in. What to expect is somewhat melodic black metal, but not overly, not anything soft, sweet and all that stuff. Nothing of that family-friendly black metal that everybody can hold hands and all that stuff. It's dark all over the place, and that's part of the charm. True Black Dawn has always been about, in my opinion, very, very much about this kind of a encircling darkness that surrounds us and, you know, takes us to a journey into darkness. So even if it's melodic, it's dark. And then there are parts where it gets fast, even if there are parts where it's kind of get more atmospheric. But even with those atmospheric parts, there are riffs that's kind of like, man, I really, really dig this big time. There's no a single song I feel like betrayed by. You know, like the ones that, you know, you would see like, okay, the album is quite good, but why this song or that riff is there? There's nothing of that sort. And that makes this beautiful. And then the production and the vocals, which really like complement the whole deal. The vocals are good, even if not my favorite in the genre, but they're powerful enough to, you know, really do the right thing on this album. In my opinion, they are a little bit giving like held back, meaning they could be even more on your face, roar, bestial, what have you. But I say, I like them, so can't really bitch about it. When you get to bitch about details, then you know you really have a killer album, which this is, indeed is. So there are lots of good things happening. Bass is audible, and the overall presence, the atmosphere is just good. I gave this quite a few listens. I felt like I'm still hungry, thirsty to listen some more. But eventually you kind of have to kill your darling, let it go, get the review done and all. No, I'm saying this, that this is indeed one of the best albums of this year, and especially in the black metal department. Currently maybe in my top 3 when it comes to black metal from 2024. Will this be the final number 1 or number 2? I don't know yet. That remains to be seen after December. But so far, no reason to wait for that. Give this one a go. Outro World Terror Committee since late July 2024, so quite fresh from the oven still. All in all, a great album. How will this be in comparison to previous ones? I will get back to that when I'm listening to my own album collection and get to the letter T, and I'm listening to all these back to back. Then I will know more, or maybe when I'm doing my Finnish black metal history from the 90s, maybe then I will also do a little comparison and all that stuff. Meanwhile, no comparison is needed. Get this album and fall in love with me like I just did. And off you go, links provided in the description box. Bye bye.